Welcome back, HMC, to our second vertical push-pull workout. This is going to be a band-only workout, so you're welcome to set aside those bands. And this is going to be a standing-only workout. We're not doing any floor work today. So if you're feeling more comfortable in a chair today, you are welcome to join us from a chair. So let's go ahead, keep that water nice and close by. Checking in on our space. We've got 3 to 5 feet of obstacle-free space to work with here. Let's go ahead and get right on into it. We're going to reach right on up, breathing in. Great big inhale here. Exhale, drop it down. Let's take one more. Setting our intention for today. You pressed play, so the hard part is over. And exhale, go ahead, drop it down. We're going to go ahead one arm at a time, just those great big arm circles. Hugging baby up and in, trying to keep those hips, those shoulders nice and square while we do so. Switching sides, bringing it forward. All right, let's go ahead, switching arms, left arm, keeping our chest nice and square. Great big arm circles. And let's switch directions, take those arm circles backwards, or whatever the opposite direction is from where you started. Perfect. Because we are going to be doing a lot of pulling today, let's go ahead, take that right wrist, really stretch it over with the left hand. Bring ourselves back to center, switching hands. Right wrist holds right hand, holds left wrist. Perfect. Dropping it down. Let's go ahead, lace those hands together behind the back, opening up that chest. Perfect. Bringing that right arm across, hugging it across our bodies. Making sure that we're really loosening up those shoulders before we do a ton of pushing and pulling today. Switching sides. And as a dynamic warm up to make sure our traps are nice and loose, let's do some great big head circles. Great big head circles. Let's go ahead, switching directions. Now let's go ahead, looking over our left shoulder, making sure we're dropping those hands away from our ears. Back to center. Let's go ahead, switching sides. Perfect. And just because we spend so much time kind of in a seated, crunched up position, let's grab that right hand, hold onto that right leg. Grabbing onto that chair, that wall, that countertop for security if we need. Go ahead, drop it down. Switching sides. All right, let's go ahead, dropping that down. And let's go ahead and get right into our movements. We're going to be doing a lot of today unilaterally. So that's going to mean we're holding on and we're only working one side of the body at a time. And so let's go ahead, get ourselves set up by stepping either with one or both feet, getting that arch right over the band there, right in the middle. And I'm going to need a lot of slack here. So depending on how tall you are, you might need more or less. And we're going to stand up nice and tall, soft bend in those knees, hugging baby up and in, neutral spine. And we're going to punch to the ceiling for a single arm overhead press. Really make sure we're staying nice and square here. We're not Jane Fondaing over. Staying nice and square, knuckles to ceiling. All right, let's count it down. First set from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop it down. Switching sides, so just grabbing it in our left hand now. I like to keep same foot, same hand, so I'm stabilizing with my left foot if I'm holding it in my left hand. Find that sweet spot for the slack. Dropping shoulders back and down. Hugging baby up and in. Let's punch knuckles to ceiling. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop it down, shake it out. Because this is unilaterally, we can move between sets fairly quickly. So let's go ahead, switching sides, getting our setup, hugging baby up and in, knuckles to ceiling. Let's go for 10, 9, 8, 7, nice and square, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop it down. Going ahead, switching sides. If at any point you feel like this hurts your shoulder, your rotator cuff, cue yourself to lead with the pinky. That will decrease the amount of friction, the amount of surface area, and it's the least dangerous for those rotator cuffs. But always just making sure that we are isolating with the cap of that delt, not letting those traps take over. And we're always holding that $1 million check in between those shoulder blades. All right, so left arm comes up, knuckles about shoulder height, pressing up, shoulder press on the left. All the way up, all the way down. All right, HMC for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop it down, shake it out. Let's switch sides. Right foot comes on top. Band is about halfway underneath. Nice and sturdy. Chest is proud. Shoulder blades are back and down. Let's punch to the ceiling. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, really feeling in that shoulder. 3, 2, and 1. Drop it down. Shake it out. Last set of our overhead presses. Let's switch sides. All right. Chest is proud. Shoulder blades are back and down. Hugging baby up and in. Knuckles at shoulder height. Let's go ahead. Keep that body square now. Punch it up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, shoulders back and down, 3, 2, and 1. Drop it down, shake it out. Mama, I want you to grab some water, and I'll go ahead and introduce the next movement while we get all set up. So our first one here, we're going to practice that band pull apart. So in our horizontal push exercises, we've been doing it kind of just about chest height. We're going to go ahead, bring it right up. So if you were to draw kind of a straight line with your forearm from your eyebrows, so if you were to reach up, you could grab like a clothing rack height just above where your head would be. So we're going to do that, find that comfortable resistance, and we're going to pull the band apart till our arms get to shoulder height. So it comes down to about kind of neck level. And that will be 1 rep. Some of the key considerations here, shoulder blades are always back and down. We're leading with that pinky, we're leading with the elbow. And at no point are we locking out any joints. We're not locking out our knees, we're not locking out those elbows. So let's go ahead, now that that's out of the way, reaching up above ourselves. Just about above your head here, straight line from those forearms. Leading with the pinky down the throat. Band pull aparts. Now that we're comfortable with this movement, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, Looking up. 5. Shoulder blades back and down. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Dropping it down, shaking it out. Let's reset those shoulders back where they should be. Chest is proud. Shoulder blades are back and down. This is a great movement if you ever want to progress to doing a strict pull-up. I think there's nothing cooler than someone who can just walk up to a bar and just bang out a strict pull-up. This is a great first step to getting there. This is my first step to getting there. That is one of my goals by the end of this year. All right, let's go ahead, getting ourselves set back up. If you are seated, this is the same thing. Just make sure you're sitting forward on your chair, not slumping down. And we're not arching our back. Nice neutral spine here. Straight line from the forearm to our knuckles from the eyebrows. Pulling apart down to our throat. That's 1 rep. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, hugging baby up and in, 3, 2, and 1. 30-second rest here. Checking in, where are we feeling this movement? Are we feeling it down here in our lats? Are we feeling it kind of at the top of our delts? Maybe a little bit in our triceps. That is perfect. I just don't want you to feel any tension right up in our traps, right down along our neck. This is all about those lats, those big wing muscles. All right, one last set with me here. HMC. Hands come up just taller than you are, pulling down to just about throat height. All the way up, all the way down. Resisting that band, resisting the tension on the way up. Working our way to that perfect, strict pull up. How cool. 3, 2, and 1. Well done, mama. We're going to go ahead and introduce the next movement. I want you to hydrate while I've got that going. Remember our unilateral setup underneath our feet. We're going to go back to that. So, finding that comfy resistance, we're going to have our arm in the final position straight up beside us. So, placing that band under one or both of our feet. And finding that comfortable resistance, we're going to do a lateral raise. So, soft bend in that elbow. We're going to go knuckles to the ceiling and back down to our side. Making sure we're finding that good resistance. You'll notice me kind of tweaking as we go, but all the way up. Resist that band on the way down. That is 1 rep. And remember, we're making sure we're staying nice and square here. There we go. I found it. Found that perfect resistance. 2 and 1. All right, mama, let's switch. If you find you're pretty close to the center of the band, all you need to do, switch feet, switch hands. Otherwise, don't be afraid to just completely restart that setup. We're going to go ahead, switch to the left side, hugging baby up and in, shoulder blades back and down. Straight arm, knuckle comes out. Now that we're comfortable, let's count it down from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, hugging baby up and in, 2, and 1. Shake it out. Let's switch sides. I think I've found my sweet spot, so I'm just going to kind of switch feet, switch hands. Soft bend in that arm. And remember, if we want to make sure that we're being kind to our rotator cuff, lead with that pinky and reach out. Hugging baby up and in, staying nice and square. We're isolating this movement to just our shoulder. And 4, 3, 2, and 1. Mama, let's go ahead, switching sides. Switch feet, switch hands. Left hand comes up, hugging baby up and in, shoulder blades back and down. Lead with that pinky. Arm comes out. And we're really kind of channeling just this lever motion. Kind of like those like wine openers. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Switching sides, we've got one more set. We should be feeling it in the cap of those delts by now. Switching sides, switching feet, keeping things nice and symmetrical. Lateral raise it out for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop it down, switch it out, other side. Complete reset if you need. I think I can do a little bit more this time. Soft bend of those elbows. Let's hug baby up and in. Lateral raise. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one, make it count. Drop it down. Grab that water, shake it out. I want you to keep this similar setup so we can keep that band in our left hand. And we're going to go ahead and get all set up for our next movement. This is going to be a front raise. So just like it sounds, let's keep those feet square. And we're going to bring those hands right up in front and drop it down. And there we go. So we're going to go ahead 2 arms at a time. Reaching on up. Getting that band underneath our right foot, but we're going to go alternating hands. So one hand at a time, we're going to go left comes up and back down. Right comes up and back down. And remember, as always, our chests are proud. We're hugging baby up and in. And that $1 million check is still between those shoulder blades. That will make sure we're engaging the correct muscles. Our traps aren't taking over. And we're getting the most out of every single movement. So handles are in. We found that comfy resistance. We're going to go ahead starting with the right hand. Coming up and back down. Up and down. This one will be tricky. Your body's going to want to arch your back. Keep that spine nice and neutral. Rib cage above pelvis. Hugging baby up and in. And 4, 3. This one's hard. 2 and 1. Drop it down. Shake it out. Now let's take this moment checking in. Where did we feel that? We're going to feel it a little bit in those lats, a lot in our shoulders. Making sure we've got that comfy resistance. All right, mama, let's go ahead. Set 2. Hug baby up and in. Front raises. Knuckles to ceiling out in front of us. We're not kipping. We're not using our hips to boost ourselves. This is isolated in those shoulders. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop it down. Shake it out. Let's switch the foot that this is under, switching to our left foot or back over to our right. Getting ourselves set up, hugging baby up and in, shoulder blades back and down. We're almost through the hard bits. We've just got our finisher left. So we're reaching up. That's 1 rep. Knuckles to ceiling. And 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead, grab that water, shake out those shoulders, mama. Do a couple shoulder rolls. We got 1 minute left. We're gonna do, just as a burnout on one of our accessory pulling muscles, our biceps, we're gonna do a 1 minute AMRAP of alternating hammer curls. Now what makes a hammer curl is we're gripping the handle or the dumbbell like the handle of a hammer. So our thumbs are gonna be facing the ceiling as opposed to our knuckles coming to our shoulders. We're kind of going thumb to shoulder. So setting ourselves up. Got that band in between the arch of the foot there. Chest is nice and proud. Hug that baby up and in. Who's sick of me saying that? Bringing that belly button to your spine, up towards your diaphragm. Going ahead, reaching on up, alternating hammer curls. These are my favorite variation of bicep curls. Reaching up. Really making sure we're not kipping here, nice and clean. Getting every last pulling and pushing muscle here. Reaching up. 20 more seconds, mama, you got this. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. You have done it. Grab that water. Let's keep those bands in our hands for our cool down. I want you to meet me right back here, standing or seated on the mat for a cool down. All right, mama, you've made it to our cool down. We've kept these bands in our hands for a reason. Let's go ahead and use them for our cool down. So keeping those hands about 8 inches wider than hip width apart, let's bring them up and over our heads, letting them fall apart as needed. And back down to our booties to open up that chest. And back over. That's 1 rep. Let's do 5 of those. Taking our time, listening to our bodies, hanging out in spots that feel a little bit tighter. One more time after this one. Up and over. Let's go ahead, take those bands, meet me up above your head, letting those hands fall away, letting our shoulder blades fall down, shoulders away from those ears. Exhale, let's lean it to the left. Great big inhale, let's bring ourselves to the right. Awesome job, mama. Let's go ahead, setting aside those bands for the evening, for the day. Taking that right hand, let's hug it across our bodies. Spending some time here. Dropping it away, switching sides. Dropping that away. Hands, just pretend like you've got lead weights in both hands. Let those hands fall down. Left ear to left shoulder. Inhale back up to center, right ear to right shoulder. And some very gentle head circles. Perfect. Now let's look over our left shoulder like we're shoulder checking in a car. Back to center, switching sides. Awesome, mama. Let's go ahead, take that right hand, place it between your shoulder blades like you're patting yourself on the back. If you need a bit of a boost to that stretch, grab your left hand, place it on the elbow. Switching back to center, reaching up and over. Perfect. Hands back down to center. One more time with me, mama. Let's reach right on up. Exhale, take it down. One more time, right on up. Exhale, drop it down. Last time, reaching right on up. And great big long exhale, drop it down. Mama, this has been our second ever vertical push-pull workout using our bands only. Make sure to grab that water, grab a rest, and we'll see you next time.